What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about these again. It's been a long time since I've made a video about these. That's the track authorities. This is the Norfolk Southern track authorities. All of them are a little similar for the most part, but these seem to intimidate a lot of people. It also intimidated me when I was in school. So let me go ahead and break this stuff down for you a little bit easier than the old video, because the old video was kind of cringe, and don't go back and watch it. But let's talk about them again. So when it comes to track authorities, there's a couple of things you need to remember. Number one, you're going to have a track authority number. You're going to have your engine number, the make, and also the direction. The location or milepost you are at that moment. You are copying the track authority when you're on the phone with a dispatcher. That's going to be your top three things right here. So if you see your track authority number, which is, where's my pen? Track authority number is right here. Union Pacific, UP 5116 East. That is your engine number, and the direction we were going. And we were at Harris Yard in Memphis. Okay? That's going to be your top three things. So now, when it comes to when you copy this, you have to read back certain things on that top part. So now we are going to talk about, we're just going to talk about literally just the top three things. Don't pay attention down here. We're literally going to talk about these right here. All right. So when you're reading this back, so it's going to be track authority number 1176-1176 to the UP Union Pacific 5116 East EAST at Harris Yard. You don't have to spell Harris Yard because there's no way there's any communication there. We only have one Harris Yard. We don't have any signals or sightings close by that even sound remotely close to Harris Yard. When it comes to spelling stuff back, it's really to make sure the dispatcher understands you, that you wrote down and copied the right thing. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this. If you feel like you want to spell back Harris Yard, you can, HARSYARD. That way there's no communication that you wrote down Harris Yard. There's no right or wrong way. If you feel like you want to spell something out, spell it out. That's not a big deal. But how we always did it was track authority number 1176-1176 to the Union Pacific 5116-5116 East EAST at Harris Yard. So, and you may do this before. You may do this. I've done it several times. You may say track authority number 1176-1176 to the UP Union Pacific 5116-5116. Repeat it twice. It doesn't matter. Just there's no right or wrong way here. Just make sure, you need to make sure your dispatcher understands you, that you wrote down the right thing. So even if you say Union Pacific 5116, say it again, 5116 East EAST. So just remember that. You need to read back your track authority number, your engine, Union Pacific, or UP 5116-5116, and then the direction east, EAST, west, WST, north, and ORTH, south, SOUTH. And then, of course, at your location. Now, if it's not Harris Yard, say it's a milepost like 504, it'll see at 504 letter A, 504 letter A. Again, it's all about repeating. That way the dispatcher knows that there's no miscommunication between you two, and that we all are both on the same page, literally. Here's the part that scares people. Down here below, you'll see box 2 and box 7. Again, there's more stuff that you have to spell out, and there's a reasoning behind it. Box 2, TWO. Whenever you have a box 2, if you're on a road train and you're going from terminal to terminal to your away from home terminal, you're going to have box 2s, and that's proceeding from one spot and going to the next. If you're on a local, you're going to have box 3s, THRW, which is a work between on the main line, so you can get to your spur track or whatever you can, or industry that's off the main line, to get to your industry, switch that customer, and get back out. For right now, let's talk about road trains. On your road trains, you're going to have box 2s. So when it comes to copying down a box 2, the dispatcher will tell you, check box 2, TWO. Then he will read, proceed from milepost 545 letter A, 545 letter A, to white siding on the main MAIN track. Okay. Now the reason he repeats the milepost and which track we're on is so that way there's no miscommunication again. Proceed from milepost 545. So I'm telling you, proceed from the 545 letter A. Don't proceed from the 546. Proceed from 545, letter A, 545 to the white siding on the main MAIN track. The reason he spells that out again is to make sure that I understand, because right next, right what's after box 2? Box 7. And y'all can see what box 7 says. It literally says, hold main track at last name point. Hold. You're going to spell hold. You're going to spell clear if you have a box 9. Box 9, if it would focus, that would be great. Box 9 is clear main track. So box 7 is hold. Box 9 is clear. And when he says box 7, SEVEN, hold, HOLD, main track at last name point, the reason he's spelling it out is so that way he knows I hear it, and that we're going to be holding the main, not clearing the main, because the last thing he wants to do is tell the train to clear the main when they're really supposed to be holding it. And then the train that's coming to us, they're telling them to clear the main, but we're in the siding because there's a miscommunication there. That's a problem. That's why we read and spell stuff back. There's no right or wrong way when it comes to reading and spelling stuff back. Like I said before, it's all about making sure your dispatcher understands you and you understand your dispatcher, and that you are both on the same page. So just because I'm not spelling out white siding, if you want to spell out white siding, you spell out white siding. It doesn't matter. You know, when you're on channel 2 and you're copying track authority, no one can hear you. I had this big worry that when I was copying track authorities that some other train was hearing me when I was copying them, and then, you know, I was nervous. No one can hear you. If another train goes to channel 2, they can hear the dispatcher talking, but they can't hear you talking, okay? So don't let that fool you, or don't let that bother you. Everybody sucks at copying track authorities when they first start. It's just like riding a bicycle. The more you do it, you'll be fine. So here's an example of how this track authority right here would have been read to me, and then how would I have copied it, and then how I would read it back. So we have toned up the dispatcher. This is actually in Memphis. We were leaving on Memphis, so probably on some crap train or a stack train maybe. This was we started at 3:39. We left the yard at 3:39 p.m. We got in the yard at 2:30, so I definitely wasn't on no pig trail or pig train. So this is how it would have started. We'd have toned up the dispatcher sitting in the yard, and we'd say, Mr. KEC, whoever that was, hey, this is train so-and-so. We're ready to leave. He'd say, all right. He'd say, you ready to copy? You'd say, yep, ready to copy. He'd say, all right. And he'll say, track authority number 1176, 1176 to the Union Pacific UP 5116 5116 East EAST at Harris Yard. Check box 2, TWO. Proceed from milepost 545, 545, letter A to white siding on the main MAIN track. Box 7, SEVEN, hold, HOLD, main track at last name point. Track authority number 1176, 1176 with 2 boxes checked, a 2 and a 7, 7 being hold, main track at last name point. Dispatcher KEC over. That's it. Now the reason he reiterates hold on the second time around he reads it is so that way he knows I know again. So when it comes to me reading it, I'm gonna say it just back just like he did. So I would say, okay, track authority number 1176, 1176, just like I said before, to the Union Pacific UP 5116 5116 East EAST at Harris Yard. Checks box 2, TWO. Proceed from milepost 545, 545, letter A to white siding on the main MAIN track. Box 7, SEVEN, hold, HOLD, main track at last name point. Track authority number 1176, 1176 with 2 boxes checked, a 2 and a 7, 7 being hold, HOLD, main track at last name point. Dispatcher KEC, copy by Cobb. However your dispatcher reads it, just be sure and read it back the way he does, or somewhere close. The main one to remember is you're going to have to read back your track authority number, your engine number, and the direction. And then when it comes to main track, hold and clear. And the reason, another one too, is if you have like a main 1 or a main 2, I would even go a step further and say if he said proceed from white siding on the main on main 2, I would probably say on main MAIN 2 TWO. I don't know how y'all do that. We don't have a main 1 or main 2, but if it was me, I would be sure and say on main 2 MAIN TWO. That way the dispatcher knows. So just don't let this intimidate you. This is all about communication, making sure you and the dispatcher are on the same page. Even with PTC nowadays, I think you still have to copy these, and then they'll pop up on your screen. And before your engineer clicks yes, be sure and double check your PTC screen with your track authority, because the dispatcher could put something in wrong. And if they put in where you're at, let's say you told the dispatcher you was at 504, but she typed in the computer that you were at the 404, guess what? You're going to be enforced as soon as you click accept. Yes, it's intimidating, but again, you can't be heard on channel 2. We all sucked at doing these when we first started. The dispatchers will work with you. Just let them know. You know, if you want to make a joke and just trying to alleviate some of the pressure or something, hey, I'm new, just bear with me. I did the same thing. So hope that helps you understand track authorities a little bit better. The more you do them, the better you will get. You know, we could even go as far as potentially practicing these while we're streaming if y'all would like to. So just leave your thoughts down below. We'll see how that goes. Thank you guys for being here. Almost 10,000, and hey, we're going to keep on growing. So y'all take it easy. Good luck at school to everybody, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.